So the Dodgers have entered the without a doubt dynasty conversation after completing their back-to-back World Series championships. Now they've also spurred up some serious conversations throughout the MLB world, talking about things like a potential hard cap, potential cap floor, and kind of the comparison between both of these things and the effects that both of these things could have, as well as the fixes that they could solve to issues that are, present in the MLB today. In today's video, I am not discussing those topics, though I have plenty of videos planned in the future, the coming weeks, the coming months leading up to the next MLB season, which we have plenty of time to get to those very controversial and important things that are going to play huge roles in the way the MLB is shaped this decade and also for decades to come. Anyway, in reflecting on this Dodgers team after winning the World Series, this is a roster that is currently loaded, and the more important thing about this roster for the future is that this roster has all of their key contributors and core players on huge contracts that will keep them a Dodger for at least 3 years for most of them, and a lot of them actually even more than 3 years. So here's a list of guys that you would first think about whenever you talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers. You have Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto, Mookie Betts, Snell, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Tyler Glasnow, and Sasaki all have contracts of at least 3 years, most of which are for hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's safe to say all of these guys are going to play key roles for the Dodgers in years to come after a season in which they just, repeated as World Series champions. Whenever you look at dynasties in their respective sports, they were able to win championships and also have roster construction that would last for multiple years to come. The Bulls in the 90s, the Patriots in the 2000s, the recent Golden State Warriors. These were all teams that had superstars on long contracts that stayed with their team for years and also had other really, really important key players on similar long contracts that kept them at their location. Now, with the lockout and potential missing of, a season to come in the future, that could change some things. There's going to be a lot of cap issues that are up in the air. No one really knows how the Dodgers are going to be able to maintain this roster structure, but it's safe to say, at least for next season, this is a team that's going to be able to and be expected to compete for a World Series, probably going to be the favorite, going into the season, barring some really strange injuries or some sort of very, very unlikely situations. Building on that, now that it is the offseason, it's time to actually look at, some of the players that the Dodgers are looking to add to their roster, because this is another attribute of dynasties. They're always looking to add talent to their team. They're always looking to, how can we further our chances to once again win another title the following year. They're never happy with their roster. Now, if you look at the best available free agent in this coming offseason, it's a pretty easy answer. It's Kyle Tucker, the right fielder for the Chicago Cubs, at least currently. Now, Kyle is 28 years old. He is a great fielder, a great hitter, without a doubt the best available free agent in this free agency class. And there are already MLB reporters out there saying that the Los Angeles Dodgers are in fact interested in attacking Kyle Tucker this free agency, which definitely makes sense for a team who has been one of the key players in free agency, offering bigger contracts than any other team in the MLB, really, apart from the Yankees. So with Kyle Tucker, I definitely expect him to get the most lucrative contract in this free agency period as a whole, which makes sense as to why there is some connections between him and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So that's going to add another star to this team. And then out of the NPB, there's also Murakami, who has been one of the most built-up prospects that we've seen over the last couple of years coming out of the Japanese league. He's a guy who people say can play first and third baseman. I think he's really just a first baseman. He's not the most athletic guy in the world. He's definitely not the most agile, and I think in the MLB, he'll definitely struggle to play third base. But I think he can definitely be a pretty good first baseman. Obviously, he can play DH as well. The thing with Murakami is he has real power. He's going to be a guy who comes into the MLB and more than likely he'll be able to hit from anywhere from 20 to 30, maybe 30 plus home runs within his first few years playing in the league. In my opinion, he has a really nice swing. He just has a ton of natural power, and it's something that will more than likely carry over to the big leagues. And he did hit 246 home runs in the NPB in his 8 seasons of play over there. So you add these two really big additions to the Dodgers, not guarantees, but these are going to be two guys that the Dodgers are definitely going to be looking to add this offseason. I can almost guarantee it. And you're throwing them on a lineup with a whole bunch of all-stars already on it. So there's a good chance that the Dodgers, lineup is somehow going to be better in the 2026 season than it was this past season. And, you start to look at that and you start to realize why people are looking forward to and calling for a potential lockout. But you really can't blame the Dodgers for going out and spending the money that they are willing to spend to make this team competitive and ultra competitive every single season. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, there's a whole bunch of conversations to be had on that lockout topic. I have some things to say on that, which I will get to in future videos. But this is a Dodgers dynasty that coming into the 2026 season will be probably the heavy favorites. Currently, they definitely are the heavy favorites. If you look at sports books, they have anywhere from a plus 350 to like a plus 360, or even there are some 370 odds on a couple sports books to repeat, and actually I should say three-peat as World Series champions in the 2026 season. I know super early to say that, but that said, it's pretty safe to say in 2026 the Dodgers will be one of the best teams in the league. They'll have a really good chance to, at the very least, make it deep to the playoffs again. And, I definitely wouldn't say you're crazy if you tell me that, you're picking the Dodgers to three-peat, which is a super challenging thing to do in sports. Like that is, especially in the MLB, it's something we pretty much never see. That's all I have for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Are the Dodgers a dynasty? Maybe do they have to win it one more time? If you did enjoy today's video, please leave a like. Please hit a subscribe. There's a ton of you guys watching not hitting that subscribe button, so hit that subscribe button. I got tons of content coming out. I know the season just ended, but we got plenty more to talk about. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.